time, Montezuma 55th, 5th, where they wanna see the games with the sold out ticks, and they cheer for the dunks, but they love them kicks, and if we talking Aztecs, we talking.
What up, Aztec fans? It's the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans.
By the fans.
With Justin and Josh, we're going to dive into everything Aztecs. This is our preview show. Guys, I'm extremely excited for this Aztec season. A lot of positive things moving forward, which we're going to dive into. What's your feeling going into this?
I'm echoing your senses here, man. I'm stoked. We bleed and breathe red and black, and I'm just so stoked for this team and what we have coming up, the prospects we have, the potential. I think the key word this year might be potential for this team, because we don't know what these guys are going to do. It's new pieces of the puzzle. We got some returning guys, so things are going to be a little odd without Jamal and Chase, but we're going to get it together, and we're going to dive in and see, really preview this whole team coming up.
I want to shout out our sponsors really quick. SK Digital Imaging, our buddy Sean K has you covered on all your printing needs. Give Sean K a call at 858-408-0732. Also want to shout out our other sponsor, SDforlife.net. If you're looking for die-hard San Diego sports gear, our boy Alex has the die-hard gear you're looking for. Visit SDforlife.net. Guys, Aztecs 23-11 last season. Lost to an underdog Florida Gulf Coast, 81-71 in the third round of the March Madness. For the most part, a really good year. It was a year that everybody said was a rebuild year.
Right.
And we ended up reigning supreme as far as the Mountain West Conference last man standing.
Yeah, we went into those NCAAs at the end of the year, and hold and be true, we were the last ones at the end of the day. We had a little more expectations, I thought. Beating Oklahoma was cool, but Florida Gulf Coast came out of nowhere with some of their skilled players and just really shocked the world, to be honest. They had the whole world on their side.
Yes, they did.
But all around, Josh, yeah, what a great season. A lot of people didn't think the Aztecs would even finish fourth. So, give them credit. I thought they stepped up in a big way. Seniors stepped up. Chase Tapley played a great solid season. Had some injury battles. He was always there to knock down the big bucket for us. So Jamal Franklin goes pro, lose a couple guys. Well, we're going to be fine, rebuilding for the future here. But as of last year, man, I couldn't be more stoked coming into the next following season.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the head as far as last year. 23-11 is a great year.
It is. Great year.
We had a few injuries. I mean, X-Thames had a back injury.
Right.
He was out for a while. Chase Tapley was injured a little bit. So we battled some injuries on some key positions. And with those guys at full health, could this team gone farther? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, with what we were given, I think the Aztecs held their own. Some good things from last year. 14-1 at home. That speaks volumes about what the Aztecs are all about and how difficult it is to come into really any of the Mountain West Conference teams' houses and pull out a victory.
Specifically Viejas, but you look at that 14-1, Josh. They're just continuing on this this recent resume of winning big games at home. Making sure you have a home court. I mean, the show shows up in traditional fashion with their noise, their raucous signs. The crowd's amazing there at Viejas, so that helps a lot. 14-1 is unbelievable. And as the list goes here, you won a game against USC. Not the greatest team in the world last year, but you know what? They're still a Pac-12 team.
Absolutely.
You knock them off. You go to the Wooden Classic where everybody thinks, it'll be a good game, but, UCLA pull it out. But that wasn't the case. The Aztecs went in there and slapped them around a little bit. I was fortunate enough to go to that game. Had an amazing time. The crowd for San Diego State was 80-20 ratio for Aztec fans, and really knocked off a good team at the time, UCLA with Shabazz Muhammad. Going into the conference season, playing New Mexico and all these other teams. This is such a tough division, Josh. You got UNLV, New Mexico, Boise State, Air Force. They're playing good ball too. So all around, you really got to win your games at home, especially in the Mountain West. You got to solidify your home spot. And on the road, you just got to get some key wins during the season.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. 4 straight NCAA March Madness appearances, 8th consecutive campaign of 20 or more wins. That is enormous.
Steve Fisher, stand up.
There was a little bit of bad, in my opinion. We were 9-7 in the conference. Right. Some of that was to be expected. Some of that was battling injuries. We had a tough loss going out to, was it Wyoming, I believe? We went out to Wyoming, and I mean, they literally didn't even show up in the first half. No. I think we only had something like 6 points in the first half.
Made a comeback, but it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, embarrassing, and we still almost had a chance to come back and win that game.
None of the games we lost were blowouts. No. They were good games. They were good, solid conference games, the way they should be played. Right. But we were just on the losing end of some of them.
We beat UNLV at home. We went to their house. We lost by 2. I mean,
right.
All the games were really close. I think another frustrating one for me was losing to Air Force in Air Force.
Yeah, and that's another one. You go to Colorado Springs. The air is a little heavy up there, and that's one of those division games, man. You just got to be pumped up to go. It's just like going to Laramie, Wyoming. Nobody's pumped up to go to Wyoming. So you really got to kick it into high gear during those times.
So I want to kind of give an outlook of this 13-14 season. First and foremost, the Mountain West Conference preseason rankings have come out. The Aztecs are 4th, but at a very slim margin. If we're talking points, New Mexico, they have it number 1, got 23 of the 24 first-place votes. As far as total votes are concerned, UNLV and Boise State at 214, the Aztecs at 212, followed by Utah, Colorado State, Wyoming, Fresno State, Nevada, Air Force, and San Jose State.
The new one. The new team.
So, as we stack up, we're in a similar position compared to last year, starting off the season. I believe with Josh Davis coming in and
Tulane transfer,
Shrigley, Dakari Allen, X Thames being back, Winston Shepard being back, J.G. O'Brien, Dwayne Polee.
Right.
I think the Aztecs do have enough of the starters and bench players coming back. There's a good mix of new guys and guys that are already involved in the system. I think the Aztecs might surprise some people.
I think so too, Josh, and I think that people that they don't understand what the Aztecs are all about every year. I know that they're on the radar for a top team. 4th in the preseason polls doesn't really say much to me. It's a preseason poll. That's all it is. They don't take into consideration heart, hustle, pride. Steve Fisher's a great coach. He'll have this team better than a 4 spot in the division when that's all said and done. For me, you touched on it. Josh Davis is one of the biggest fifth-year senior transfers in the country, and he was being touted by the likes of Gonzaga, teams like that. Those are big teams. Gonzaga was ranked number 1 last year. That's a prime spot to go. He chose San Diego State. I couldn't be more thrilled and excited. I think if we didn't get Josh Davis this season, we'd be looking at a 5 or a 6 spot. He's going to help that much in this upcoming year. He's a rebounding machine, double-double machine. He provides experience at the collegiate level, which you can't teach or coach at all because he's already been there, done that. So for me, it's the new guys like you touched on. You got a Dakari Allen adds a little depth at your guard position. You got a Darrell Williams that can maybe spell X Thames once in a while once he gets the next of the collegiate level.
Right.
Once he gets in the flow. What I do like about this new team coming in, it's not the new team. We got a lot of sophomores coming in. Skylar Spence will be a sophomore. Shepard. Shrigley's a redshirt freshman. This will be his, by all means, his freshman season. Coach Fish says he's improved leaps and bounds by any redshirt he's ever seen. Working on an all-around game, rebounding, jump shot. So really interested to see what he's going to provide and bring to the table. He's going to hopefully replace some of those shots that Chase Tapley was taking for us. But overall outlook, very excited. Big guys. We got big winged players, 6'7", 6'8", 6'10". We got a lineup that doesn't quit. So we talked about this a couple seasons ago where they just kept bringing in long winged guys,
right.
Athleticism, able to fend the basket. So very excited. Steve Fisher's teams always get up and down the court, and I think that 4 spot doesn't hold true, and I think we're around the 1 or the 2 spot by the end of the year.
Well, I think that's one of our big things is our size. James Johnson 6'10", Skylar Spencer 6'10", Winston Shepard 6'8", J.J. O'Brien 6'7", Dwayne Poley 6'7", Josh Davis 6'8". I mean, these guys are big,
right?
And we saw how difficult it was. Granted, it was outdoors, but playing Syracuse and their big lineup. How we had to shoot well from the perimeter because it was hard to get inside and get the layups, get the dunks because their big men had such a long wingspans. They're knocking the ball away, and I think that's going to be something the Aztecs are going to have to play off of. They might not be as high scoring as we're used to seeing. That's still yet to be seen, but I think their defense is going to improve. And building off of Skylar Spencer's freshman record in blocks, now you've added Josh Davis into the mix. Those two are going to really shore up the middle of our defense and really make it difficult for people to hit the hole.
And and that's what Steve Fisher's going after when he's recruiting now. He knows he can get some bigger name players now. So he wants the long winged players that can guard, get a hand in the face, athletic, can run the floor, play multiple positions, not just one solid position on the court. So for me, Steve Fisher's doing a great job of bringing guys like this in. It's just a credit to the recruiting and the staff, bringing guys in that can play all positions. If somebody was in case to go down, Winston Shepard can play the point guard. J.J. O'Brien can take it down the floor if we need him to be. He can play 5 spots on the floor. Winston can play the power forward if we had to. We got a lot of interchangeable pieces here, and building off of last year's experience, some of these guys got some quality minutes. So I'm looking for, sky's the limit for this season.
Well, I'm looking for Winston Shepard to have a coming out party.
Yeah, breakout season.
I'm looking for him to really carry the load along with Xavier Thames as far as the scoring goes. There was some times last year with Winston Shepard that he was hesitant to go to the hoop.
Right.
He dished it off to Thames and Jamal, which is fine. But I'm looking for him to take over and take that responsibility and go to the bucket and get to the free throw line and create a lot of things on offense.
I'm actually glad you brought Winston up real quick because he trained over the summer in Houston with Hakeem Olajuwon. He went to the LeBron James camp. He took it seriously. He took it seriously, and I don't think he didn't take it seriously last year, but I think he thought he was owed something maybe, when he got on campus.
Right.
When you're the highly touted recruit ever at a school, you kind of got a big ego coming in. Some players do, I should say. I think he takes a deep breath this year, and he goes, you know what, I can be a good player. I need to put in the time and the work, and if I become a Jamal Franklin, and if I become a Kawhi Leonard type, I can make myself into an NBA player and really, really make myself stand out. So I really think he takes the next step, and we need that breakout party. So.
Absolutely. And speaking of Kawhi Leonard, a lot of people are saying that Josh Davis is his twin. Now, he's a double-doubles machine.
Right.
So I can see the comparison. He's got the cornrows. But he is a different player. Just to give you a little bit background on Josh Davis, in Conference USA, he ranked first in rebounding, first in offensive rebounding, second in defensive rebounding, third in minutes played, fourth in scoring, 11th in block shots, and 12th in field goal percentage.
That's great.
In the NCAA rankings, he was fourth in double-doubles. He averaged 17.6 points per game and 10.7 rebounds per game. That was 8th in the nation. This is a guy that arguably could take over this conference.
You know what? And that this is why it's not. This is why when you say San Diego State's a 4-spot preseason rank, I roll my eyes because you bring in a guy like this, he's a game changer. This is a game changing type of player.
He's a seasoned veteran.
Seasoned veteran. He's a team guy. He's not a me guy. He's bringing his lunch pail to work. He's gonna do what he's asked to do. He's gonna put in some buckets this year, and you're gonna go, wow, this guy's a monster. And all of San Diego and all this conference, they're going to be like looking around going, who the hell is this guy? And there's going to be scouts everywhere all the time. Josh Davis, double-double machine, ready for the pros after this season. I really think he carries us into an NCAA postseason appearance again.
Well, and for you that don't know, and they've tried to keep it a secret, there was a game last weekend against Stanford, and Josh Davis brought his presence to the game right off the bat.
Supposedly, rumor has it that he was one of the star players, one that turned heads, along with J.J. O'Brien. So, you hear those things, and you don't know because you didn't really see it, but you'll take it for what it's worth at word of mouth. But amazing stuff. I mean, if you hear those things already, Team chemistry must be going great. This guy seems like he's going to fit in really nicely in this offense.
And I'm glad to hear J.J. O'Brien's name, showing what he can do already, because I really felt that he could have done more last year on the offensive side.
Yeah.
He was great on the defensive side.
Jump shot.
He was great on the defensive side of the ball, and he said he worked a lot on his ball handling skills, his outside perimeter shooting. So J.J. O'Brien, if he could step up to that next level, that's going to even make the Aztecs even that much more dangerous.
I agree with you.
We have a couple other guys that were part of the 2012 and 2013 recruiting class. Matt Shrigley. Matt Shrigley, he was a forward, 6'6", a senior, averaging 16 and a half points. ESPN.com gave him a scout grade of 92 and a 4-star rating. We also have Dakari Allen, a guard, 6'5". As a senior, he averaged 18 points per game and 7 rebounds and 4 assists. ESPN gave him a score of 80 and a 4-star rating. Both of these guys are going to contribute to the offense, and it's going to... We were kind of talking about this last year. The Aztecs have a lot of depth.
They do.
And maybe it didn't show as much last year. I think they're deeper this year. Arguably, we could have a number of lineups that go out this year and are offensively productive as well as defensively productive.
Right, and these guys that you mentioned here, Matt Shrigley and Dakari Allen. Matt Shrigley, the redshirt freshman, sat out a year, learned a lot of experience from the tournament. Dakari Allen, like you said, you're bringing in guys that can play multiple positions. This Dakari Allen kid, I'm really high on. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He seems like he really wants to learn and develop into a great player. I'm excited what he brings to the table. He's a 6'5" wing player, so he's a guard, slash forward, whatever you want to put him in. I mean, he can play multiple positions, but he's a skilled player like a Winston Shepard came out of high school. He wasn't as highly touted as Winston Shepard, but he brings that kind of skill set to the table. So exciting to see somebody like that. Darrell Williams was also a recruit. We got a full Scully, a 3-star athlete from Rivals.com. 4-year starter at he played with Dakari Allen at I want to say, I forget the high school he was at, but that doesn't really matter.
It was Sacramento.
Well, it was in Sacramento, but it was like green and black jerseys. I watched a lot of tape. Anyway, he averaged 14 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He brings a ball handling, faster kind of pace point guard. He can get to the hoop, which I really like about him. He can draw the contact, get to the line. He's not a selfish player. He likes to pass the ball, pass the rock. So I think he fits in great, just with his athleticism. So these 3 players, Shrieks, Allen, and Williams, very good 3 guys coming in and adding to the depth like you were talking about. This depth is going to be exciting to watch, especially in the early games when they get an opportunity to show what they can do. So, as the season progresses, maybe they get allowed to play some more minutes. I know Shrieks off the bat could be a starter. I don't know what the lineup's going to look like yet, but I have him penciled in as the shooting guard, 2-spot.
Matt Shrigley, a lot of the videos I've seen, he lights it up from everywhere.
Yeah.
The guy... he's a presence inside the paint. He can shoot it from the arc, 16 feet in. I mean, the guy's all over the place. Mm-hmm. And that's what excites me the most, because I think that's what we lost the most, losing Tapley and Jamal Franklin and Rayhan, is the offensive production.
Right.
Is it going to be there with, Shrigley, Josh Davis? Can Winston Shepard? I think these are the biggest question marks, are offensively. Can these guys step up and fill the roles that we're losing from last year to this season?
And I'm glad you hit on it, because that's the biggest key this season. We have a lot of guys that can make things happen on one-on-one situations, get to the hoop in the harm, get to the line. That's all fine and well. But if you don't have a guy that can stroke it from 3 land, you're going to be sunk in the tournament. You really are. We didn't even mention Rayhan. I mean, when you miss guys like Tapley, Rayhan, it really just it sets you back. So Shrigley really has to be that guy this year to help Thames out. Thames can't be the only one chucking up threes, and Thames isn't the best 3-pointer in the 3-point shot in the world. But from what I hear over the summer, he's gotten better from beyond the arc. So hopefully they step up, like you said. Hopefully Matt Strigley in that redshirt year has really developed his shot, because that has to be key for the season going in.
And if Dakari Allen can build on what he did as a senior, the guy was just a few rebounds off of being a double-double machine on average. So if you have him in the mix, Josh Davis being a double-double machine, that's really going to bode well for the Aztecs moving forward. Kind of want to talk about a little bit of our recruiting class for 2014. Currently, we ranked 20th nationally. First and foremost, and I'll let Justin break it down here, Trey Kell, a guard, 6'4", from ESPN.com. He was 79th, 4-star from ESPN, 3-star from Rivals.com. Currently ranked 16th at his position nationally. Visited the likes of Vandy, Gonzaga, Arizona, and Oregon. What is Trey Kell going to bring to the table in the future?
Trey Kell, he's one of these kids that he didn't go under the radar. He was being touted by some high schools, high programs, I should say. Trey Kell can score it from anywhere on the floor. He's one of the best scoring guards on the West Coast. We were very fortunate to land him. He's a homegrown product from San Diego, California, St. Augustine High School. It was a no-brainer 2 years ago when they started recruiting Kell that they thought he would come here just because of the loyalty, from what you hear, that Dutch and Fisher provided, and went to all his games, really recruited this kid hard, knowing he was going to develop into something special. He committed on the 1st of October. He's a 4-star athlete that brings tremendous promise to the Aztecs. Really couldn't get a better player, a scorer, I should say. I mean, what are we losing, right? In the last year, we lost Tapp, we lost Rayhan, we lost Franklin. These guys that put up the ball, put it in the bucket, they know how to score. So we really got to replenish in the next coming years. You get a Trey Kell, you get him along going with Shriegs in the near future. You put in a Darrell Williams, maybe he can transform his shot into something special. So you really have something to build on when these guys all mesh together in the future.
The next part of our recruiting class for 2014, Malik Pope, who's a beast. Forward 6'8". ESPN.com has him ranked 52nd. ESPN 4-star. Rivals have him as a 5-star. He is 13th at his position. He visited Gonzaga and Kansas and ended up choosing San Diego State. That speaks volumes.
And he went to Kansas's Midnight Madness, which really blows my mind. And he still walked away and said, "I'm going to State." So for me, a kid out of Elk Grove, California, he's a local product. Laguna Creek High School up there. Kid's 6'8", 210 already. What could he develop into? Something special. His senior season, I believe he didn't play it because he had a leg injury. This would be his second one. When he was down on injury, a lot of schools backed away a little bit. San Diego State kept on him, showing their loyalty. So by showing the loyalty, Fisher and Dutcher and Hudson really made an impact on this kid's decision. 5-star athlete. He is the highest ranked Aztec to sign from the recruiting class ever in history. That beats out Winston Shepard. So
beats out Kawhi Leonard.
But Kawhi Leonard wasn't the biggest guy coming out either. But he was an ESPN top 100.
Right.
Malik Pope's going to bring athleticism. From what I can see, he can drain it from just about anywhere. He's got a good jump shot, and he can throw down some flat-out crazy dunks from what you see on it. Just type his name into YouTube, and you'll see Malik Pope all over the place.
There's another guy, and I don't know as much about him, and Justin can fill us in. Kevin Szabo, a guard 6'2". He's a 3-star, I believe, coming out of Canada.
Canada, yeah, Quebec. 3-star athlete, Kevin Szabo. He's another. I'm more excited about Szabo, but I like him and Williams in the near future because Zames will be gone after this next season. I like what Szabo and Williams might provide in the coming years. Both of these guys can slash. Szabo creates mismatches. He's so quick off the dribble. He can put a guy on his ass real fast. He can get to the hoop. He can score it. Along with Trey Kell, we're going to have some sets of guards along with big men in the middle coming futures. This Aztec team is going to be dynamic in all aspects. Kid committed on August 10th of this year. A lot of teams were after him as well. But San Diego State grabbed his attention right away. I think he took a couple visits here. I could be wrong, but I know he at least took one. Steve Fisher is very high on this kid, and I know they're very excited to get Kevin Szabo in an Aztec uniform.
And the 14 recruiting class isn't quite done yet. There's actually one more in the mix, Zylan Cheatham, forward 6'7", from ESPN.com. He's 87th. ESPN has him as a 4-star. Rivals as well, a 4-star.
Right. And
he's 20th at his position. He's currently visited San Diego State, New Mexico, and Washington, and he is supposed to commit this weekend.
Yeah, there's all the New Mexico fans and Washington fans and Aztec fans. It's like a Twitter war right now. Everybody's like, oh, I need Z. In Mexico, New Mexico makes a big push at the end, inviting him to their, Madness Night or whatever, which is all cool. And this kid has tremendous upside. He's not polished by any means yet. The physical gifts, though, are through the roof. So for us, if we land this guy in a second 5-star recruit, I'm going to be dumbfounded. I mean, this would be obviously the best recruiting class
in Aztec
ever.
history.
So if he does commit here and he puts all his options on the table and goes, hey, I want to play for a Fab 5 coach. I want to play for a national title coach. I want to play for a guy who considers this a family, not just a one-stop shop. This isn't just come in, go to the NBA right away.
I'm going to give you all your tools, and I'm going to make you an NBA player.
And that's what he can provide for them. This isn't Kentucky where you come in for 1 year and you're getting drafted the next. If he wants a place like that, I think he makes the right decision. I hope we get Cheatham. He's one of those kids. He's got high upside, just like Malik Pope. I really think those two together in the next couple years would be amazing to have, along with Kel and Szabo. So hopefully we get him. If we don't, I'm not going to cry over it. We have already got an amazing recruiting class coming in. New Mexico might be a little bitter if he goes to UW or he picks San Diego State.
Which I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, New Mexico fans are going to cry and cry and cry.
Well, everybody that is choosing between San Diego State and New Mexico lately has come to San Diego State. So.
Well,
I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
That just shows how much Fisher has an effect on these guys when he meets with them.
Well, was it a hard decision? Would you want to live in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
No.
Or San Diego?
Absolutely San Diego.
Okay. Well, I was just asking you.
Beaches and beautiful weather.
I don't know about you, but pretty women, campus is great, fun atmosphere, great crowds. I mean, come on.
All right, guys. So this is our beginning of our breakdown of San Diego State basketball. We're going to be back with you here momentarily to break down this year's schedule. So hang tight, guys. We'll be right back. This is San Diego Sports Junkies with Justin and Josh, a show for fans.
By the fans.
We'll be right back.
Team, y'all don't get it, do ya? New squad, new year, but the same ego. New ring, new bling, check stilo. And they wanna see the show like a movie regal. Unfair, cheat code. We go hard, Chico. State my point like the repo. Take what I'm owed like D.